So here's how the plant looks Saturday. It's still looking pretty thrashed, but better than it looked Friday evening. And the other plant. So here's a 3-day update on the Lizzano. They are still looking quite beat down. I'm used to seeing some improvement by now, not just I am a dead plant. So I'm not sure, so I am kind of feeling like maybe I killed these plants, but I guess it happens. The smaller ones though are doing quite well. This one here seems to have found what it needed and is actually growing, so that's good. Get to the other one. And the other more mature plant is looking really bad. It looks like some more of the mildew has taken over, so this one just might be a lost cause. I'll give it a couple more days to see if it perks up. But given that I have 2 smaller healthy plants and I really don't need 4 plants, perhaps it will be okay to just go ahead and compost the 2 wilted plants and keep the 2 healthy plants. Well, the leaves on this have gone crispy, so I think I may have killed this plant. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Oh well. I can plant another plant. I can try maybe a tumbler this time. The other plant is still hanging in there. This part looks good. I probably will cut that limb off at the bottom. Trim off any crispy leaves. But give it a few more days. I'm also noticing that the Gladiator type and the Big Mama tomatoes are not thriving in my tomato beds like my other plants are, and I'm wondering, is there some nutritional deficiency or whether the climate's just not right for these tomatoes, but they really haven't been taking off like some of the other tomatoes in my yard. So like here's a Big Mama here. It's very spindly, doesn't look all that healthy. But then here's a German green, and I just planted this here last week when it was teeny tiny like this one, and now it's very big, it's very stocky, and it looks really good. The same thing with this green gauge, and of course compared with the cherry tomatoes that were planted at the same time, you know, the growth there is tremendous compared to the growth of the Gladiator and the Big Mama. So I don't know, do I want to try to grow these, continue to grow these, or should I move on and look at some other types of tomatoes that might grow better in my yard? So I filmed a little segment about my Gladiator and Big Mama squashes about a week ago, noting that they weren't doing so well. They're spindly. They also had some disease and seemed to be susceptible to powdery mildew. So I've trimmed off a bunch of leaves on the bottom that had powdery mildew on them and looked like blight. I've also removed any flowers, and I applied some fish emulsion and Epsom salts last week. It's probably been 4 days since I last did that, and I'm not seeing any improvement in the plants yet. Oh, looks like I missed some flowers. I'm not seeing any improvement in the plants yet. So I guess I should just continue to let them grow. I looked on the internet, but there's not much information on growing gladiators, so I don't know whether I planted them too soon and the roots just never got a good start because the soil was too cold, or they're not getting what nutrients they need, so they're just kind of stagnating here. I don't know. And then the same with the big mamas. They're just not looking all that great. So in the middle here is the big mama. These other two are bush stake, and they're not supposed to get any taller than about 2 feet. But the bush stake started out smaller than the big mama when I planted them, and now they're almost the same size. This is another big mama, and as you can see on those back leaves and also up front, it just doesn't seem to be a very vigorous plant. And the same with this one, just doesn't have a lot of vigor. So I'm going to start new seeds again as backups and see if I can get some better plants. But seeing as how these are the same age as these cherry tomatoes in the back here, I just don't have a good feeling about them. So the big mama plants started wilting, and I went ahead and pulled them. As you can see, there's some disease on the leaves here, and even though these had been buried in the ground for about 5-6 weeks, the roots haven't really grown. So I'm not sure what happened to these plants, but they definitely did not thrive, and they did not grow any more roots, and the plant just kind of stagnated and then started dying. So for the health of the other plants, I decided, yeah, it's best to pull them. The gladiators look like they're finally catching, so let's go take a look at those. So here are the gladiators today. I went ahead and staked this one because it was starting to lean over. This one has perked up some. I went ahead and cut off the bottom leaves so that so the plant won't have leaves touching soil. This one too is looking pretty good, and the one in back too. So we'll see how it goes. These little guys up here are the sweet Japanese that I transplanted a few days ago. They've already doubled in size, so that's very nice. These little guys are the voluntary tomatoes that I moved from over where my tinted bell peppers were to here, and they're doing pretty well. I guess I'll go ahead and cut off that little guy there, and so those just be 2 plants. And then this is the one that I moved from the front yard and 2 days ago, and it's now perked up and fine. And of course the smaller Lizzano plants are doing just fine. So I guess this time is probably the first major failure I've had with moving or replanting a tomato. I'm not sure what happened with the Lizzanos, other than perhaps they were already too weakened by blight and by powdery mildew to be moved, and just moving them made them more susceptible to those diseases, and they just kind of shriveled up and died. With the big mama tomato, I'm not sure what happened there. If I'm not mistaken, that variety is supposed to have pretty strong and vigorous roots, so I don't know why the roots failed to grow on that particular set of plants. But I did start some backup plants so I can try them out again. Perhaps it was just too cold for the roots to properly develop. But that's all for now on these troubled tomatoes. I will do another update on the healthy tomatoes next week. What's going on with them? They're flowering and fruiting.